In the vast darkness of the Andromeda expanse, a battlefield shimmered with the glow of alien war machines. The grand fleets of the Zovorn Dominion, a coalition of hyper-advanced extraterrestrial species, hovered menacingly. These beings, evolved far beyond the need for physical exertion, relied on their cybernetic enhancements and telekinetic abilities to dominate lesser civilizations. To them, humanity was an anomaly, a primitive species still shackled to their fragile, flesh-based existence. Yet here they were, standing defiantly against a force that had subjugated countless worlds. Captain Elias Grant of the Earth Defense Fleet paced aboard the Resolute, a battleship cobbled together with equal parts ingenuity and desperation. Earth was no stranger to resourcefulness, and Elias embodied that trait. His uniform clung to a body hardened not by enhancements but by relentless training, a stark contrast to the sleek, synthetic forms of their alien adversaries. The Zovorn's leader, arch-strategist Vorthakar, addressed the humans through a holographic projection. His translucent crystalline visage sneered as he spoke. "Humans, surrender your planet. Your biology is inferior, your technology obsolete. This war is a futile endeavor." Elias smirked. "We'll see about that." As the transmission cut off, the bridge crew exchanged uneasy glances. Everyone knew the odds were stacked against them. The Zovorn ships bristled with energy weapons capable of disintegrating entire fleets. Their soldiers were biomechanical titans, impervious to most conventional weaponry. Yet humanity had something the Zovorn had underestimated: their raw, unenhanced bodies and the stubborn will that came with them. When the war began, the Zovorn had underestimated the significance of human adaptability. Their strategy was to overwhelm with brute force and advanced tactics. However, humans had turned their so-called weaknesses into strengths. Unable to rely on telekinetic shields or bioarmor, they had honed their reflexes, instincts, and physical endurance. They fought like cornered animals, unpredictable and relentless. One such instance became the stuff of legend. A ground assault had been launched on Proxima 3, a key human colony. The Zovorn deployed their elite units, biomechanical monstrosities standing over 10 feet tall with energy blades extending from their limbs. They moved with machine-like precision, cutting down defenses with ease. But in the rubble of the colony's capital, humanity's resistance refused to break. Lieutenant Sarah Vega led a squad of soldiers equipped with nothing more than kinetic rifles and improvised explosives. The Zovorn soldiers advanced, confident in their superior technology. Sarah's team hid in the ruins, their breathing steady despite the chaos around them. The moment the alien titans entered the kill zone, Sarah yelled, "Now!" Explosives detonated, creating a cloud of dust and debris. The Zovorn's optics faltered, unable to penetrate the thick haze. Human soldiers, clad in camouflage and wielding blades fashioned from Zovorn scrap, surged forward. They moved with an animalistic ferocity that stunned their opponents. Sarah herself leaped onto a Zovorn soldier, driving her blade into a joint between its armor plates. With a twist, she severed vital conduits, and the giant collapsed. The Zovorn had never faced an enemy willing to close the distance, to fight tooth and nail. They were built for precision, for calculated destruction at range. In close quarters, their hulking frames became liabilities. Humans exploited this mercilessly. Back on the Resolute, Elias orchestrated a counterattack that defied conventional tactics. The Zovorn relied on predictive algorithms to anticipate enemy movements. Human pilots, however, flew erratically, improvising maneuvers that no algorithm could predict. Fighter squadrons weaved through Zovorn formations, dodging energy blasts with a combination of skill and sheer audacity. One such pilot, Ensign Raj Patel, became a legend during the Battle of Epsilon Ridge. With his wingman shot down, Raj faced 3 Zovorn fighters alone. Rather than retreat, he engaged them head-on, weaving through their formation in a chaotic spiral. His primitive fighter lacked the precision targeting systems of the Zovorn craft, but Raj trusted his instincts. He fired manually, scoring a direct hit on one enemy fighter's engine core. The resulting explosion caused a chain reaction, taking out the other 2. When Raj returned to the Resolute, battered but victorious, his fellow pilots lifted him on their shoulders. The Zovorn couldn't comprehend such reckless bravery. let alone its effectiveness. As the war dragged on, the Zevworn began to adapt, deploying countermeasures against human tactics. Yet humanity, in turn, evolved their strategies. They began using their physical endurance and creativity in ways the Zevworn couldn't match. Humans could survive harsh environments without specialized suits, their bodies resilient to extremes. This allowed them to infiltrate Zevworn outposts on inhospitable worlds, striking where the enemy least expected. One pivotal mission involved Sergeant Marcus Grizzly Hayes and his squad infiltrating a Zevworn command station on the volcanic moon of Axion 7. The moon's sulfuric atmosphere was toxic to most species, but humans had developed rudimentary filtration masks that allowed them to survive. The squad moved through molten terrain, their boots melting slightly with each step. They reached the command station and, using nothing more than brute force and primitive explosives, savaged the Zevworn's communication network. When questioned later, Marcus simply grinned and said, "Sometimes the old ways work best." The turning point of the war came at the Battle of Sol. The Zevworn had mustered their largest fleet, intent on obliterating Earth itself. Humanity responded with every ship they could muster, from state-of-the-art destroyers to retrofitted cargo haulers armed with railguns. As the fleets clashed, Elias Grant's strategy became clear. He lured the Zevworn into the asteroid belt, where human miners had set up an elaborate trap. Using manual controls, they redirected asteroids into the path of the Zevworn fleet. The aliens' advanced systems struggled to calculate the chaotic trajectories. Meanwhile, human ships darted between the debris, firing relentlessly. On the ground, Sarah Vega led a desperate defense against Zevworn ground forces attempting to land. Fighting alongside civilians and soldiers alike, she used every tactic imaginable, from guerrilla warfare to hand-to-hand combat. The Zevworn were stunned by humanity's refusal to yield, even when facing certain death. In orbit, Elias made the ultimate gamble. The Resolute charged directly at the Zevworn flagship, dodging its defenses with erratic maneuvers. At the last moment, Elias ordered his crew to eject in escape pods. The Resolute, loaded with every remaining explosive on board, rammed into the flagship's core, detonating in a blinding explosion. The flagship's destruction sent shockwaves through the Zevworn fleet, both literal and psychological. Leaderless and demoralized, the Zevworn retreated. Humanity had won. Years later, the Galactic Council convened to recognize Earth's resilience. The Zevworn, humbled by their defeat, signed a treaty acknowledging humanity as equals. Elias Grant, Sarah Vega, and countless others became symbols of a species' refusal to bow to destiny. As Elias addressed the council, he said, "You called us primitive. You mocked our bodies, our technology, our ways. But it was those very things that allowed us to prevail. Never underestimate the strength of the human spirit." The chamber erupted in applause, not just from humans, but from species across the galaxy who had witnessed humanity's triumph. The Zevworn's humiliation became a cautionary tale, a reminder that sometimes the simplest tools and the fiercest determination are more powerful than the most advanced technology. Humanity had earned its place among the stars, not through superior firepower or technology, but through sheer grit and an unyielding will to survive.